America is the richest country on Earth. The most powerful, the most filmed, the most talked about. Everyone has an opinion about America. Everyone thinks they know it. But here is what most people don't tell you. America is also the most contradictory country on Earth. A country where the same road can take you from wonder to heartbreak in 40 minutes. Where the land is so extreme, so ancient, so alive, that it humbles everything built on top of it. And where the things built on top of it are sometimes extraordinary, and sometimes an embarrassment to everything the country says it stands for. A country that gave the world jazz and cinema and the internet. That put a man on the moon. That invented the idea that wild land should be protected forever. And also a country that still hasn't figured out some very basic things that can make you feel like anything is possible and show you exactly why it isn't. For everyone. We spent months crossing this country. Not through its airports. Not through its headlines. Through its land. Its edges. The places that don't end up in brochures. The places that explain what a country actually is. Not what it says it is. We saw the America that takes your breath away. And the America that makes you ask how this is possible in the same country. Sometimes we asked both questions, standing in the same place. What you are about to see is not a postcard. It is not a celebration. It is not an attack. It is America as it actually is, which is more interesting than anything anyone has told you about it. Skid Row, Los Angeles. 5 miles from Hollywood, 10 minutes from Beverly Hills. In the richest city, in the richest state, in the richest country on Earth. There is a street where 8,000 people live in tents. Not camping, not temporarily, living. Skid Row, 50 square blocks in downtown Los Angeles, the largest concentration of homeless people in the United States. In 2017, the United Nations sent a special rapporteur on extreme poverty to visit Skid Row. He had visited slums in developing countries across the world. He was not prepared for Los Angeles. I think it's on a scale I hadn't anticipated, he said. Block after block of people. When you see how concentrated it is, it's more shocking. The United Nations was shocked by an American city. The tents line the sidewalks. Some people have been here for years. Some arrived last week. Some came from other states. California has better weather for living outside. Some came because Skid Row has the most social services in the country and still cannot get off the street. The city of Los Angeles has struggled to keep fewer than 10 public toilets operating for 8,000 people. 2 kilometers away, the houses on the Hollywood Hills start at $5 million. 10 minutes by car, a different universe, the same city, the same sky, the same country that calls itself the land of opportunity. Salton Sea, California. It was an accident. In 1905, irrigation canals in the California desert broke. The Colorado River flooded into the Salton Sink, a dry lake bed below sea level. For 2 years, the river poured in. By the time engineers stopped it, there was a sea. 57 kilometers long, 34 kilometers wide, in the middle of the desert. By the 1950s, the Salton Sea was the most popular recreational lake in California. More visitors than Yosemite. Frank Sinatra performed here. The Beach Boys came. Yacht clubs, resorts, water skiing, Hollywood's weekend escape. Then the water had nowhere to go. No outlet, no river to flush it. Just the sun, evaporating it, concentrating the salt, concentrating the agricultural runoff that drained in from the farms around it. The fish began to die, by the millions, their bones piling up on the shore, a beach of fish bones stretching for kilometers. The birds that came to eat the fish began to die too. Today, the Salton Sea smells of sulfur and dead fish for 50 kilometers in every direction. The resorts are abandoned. The yacht clubs are ruins. The hotels are collapsing. The swimming pools are full of sand and bones. And in the town of Bombay Beach, a community of artists moved in, specifically to live among the ruins. They installed a piano in the water, a Ferris wheel in the desert, sculptures made from the debris of a failed paradise. Because some people look at an apocalypse and see a canvas. Devil's Tower, Wyoming. It appears without warning. You are driving through the rolling grasslands of northeastern Wyoming. Flat, green, ordinary. And then, on the horizon, something that doesn't belong. A column of rock, 386 meters tall, rising from the plain as if pushed up from below. Perfectly vertical sides, a flat top, no mountain around it, no other rocks like it, just this. Devil's Tower, the first national monument in the United States, declared by Theodore Roosevelt in 1906. The geology is extraordinary. The tower is the core of an ancient volcano. The magma chamber, molten rock that cooled underground 60 million years ago and hardened into something far stronger than the rock around it. The softer rock eroded over millions of years and left this, standing alone. The sides of the tower are covered in columns, hundreds of them, parallel, running from base to summit, perfect pentagons and hexagons, the result of the lava contracting as it cooled. The same geometry as the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. Some columns are 2 meters wide, all perfectly vertical, as if the tower was assembled from identical pieces. The Lakota Sioux call it Matotipala, Bear Lodge. The legend, a group of girls were being chased by bears. They climbed onto a rock and prayed. The rock rose, lifting them to safety. The bears clawed at the sides, left the vertical scratches you see today. The girls became the Pleiades, the star cluster, still visible above the tower on clear nights. In 1977, Steven Spielberg chose this place for Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the mountain where humans first made contact with alien life. He chose it because it looks like something that shouldn't be here, like something that came from somewhere else. The Lakota have been saying that for 1,000 years. Isle de Jean Charles, Louisiana. In 1955, The island was 22 square kilometers. Today, it is less than one. Île de Jean-Charles, a narrow strip of land in the bayous of Louisiana, home to the Biloxi Chitimacha Choctaw tribe for over 150 years. The land is not flooding, it is sinking, and the sea is rising to meet it. The Mississippi River used to deposit sediment along the Louisiana coast. The sediment built the land, kept it above water. Then the oil companies dug canals through the marshes. To reach their wells, the canals let salt water in. The salt water killed the marsh grass. The marsh grass had held the soil together. Without it, the land dissolved into the sea. The island lost 98% of its land area in 60 years. The people who remain, a few dozen families, watch their island get smaller every year. Storms take more. Tides take more. The sea takes more. Houses stand in water that wasn't there 10 years ago. The road to the mainland, the only road, floods regularly, sometimes for days. In 2016, the United States government gave the state of Louisiana $48 million to relocate the tribe, to move them off the sinking island. It was the first time the American government officially recognized and funded the relocation of a community due to climate change. The first climate refugees in American history. Some residents took the money and left. Some refused. The island they were born on, the island their grandparents were born on, the island that was 22 square kilometers when their great-grandparents arrived, is now less than one, and still shrinking. Are you? Zion, Angels Landing, Utah. The sign at the bottom is specific. This is a strenuous hike. Chains are provided to assist hikers. 5 people have died on this trail. Then, at the bottom of the sign, a permit machine, where you buy your ticket to hike the trail anyway. Angels Landing. In Zion National Park in southwestern Utah, the trail climbs 450 meters in 4 kilometers. The final section, 500 meters along a narrow ridge. The width of the path in places, less than a meter. On both sides, a drop of hundreds of meters to the canyon floor. Chains are bolted into the rock along this section, not for decoration, because without them, the trail would be impassable, or fatal, more fatal. People queue on the chains, going up and coming down on the same narrow ridge, pressing against the rock to let others pass, looking at each other, not at the drop. The name comes from Frederick Fisher, a Methodist minister who visited in 1916. He looked at the peak and said only an angel could land there. 2 years later, someone built a trail. The 5 deaths are documented, all from falls, all on the final section. Hikers who lost their footing or their grip on the chains, on wet rock, on a trail that leaves no margin for error. And still, a permit system was introduced in 2022 because too many people were trying to hike it. The view from the top is one of the greatest in the American Southwest. The Virgin River 1,000 feet below. The canyon walls in every direction. The impossibly narrow ridge you just walked now visible in full, and more terrifying from above than it was while you were on it. People take photographs, sit on the edge, eat sandwiches with their feet dangling over nothing. Then they climb back down. The same chains, the same narrow ridge, the same drop, and the sign at the bottom still says 5. Luray Caverns, Virginia. In 1954, a mathematician named Leland Sprinkle spent 3 years walking through these caves. With a rubber mallet, tapping stalactites, listening. Each stalactite produces a different note when struck, depending on its size, its density, its mineral composition. The cave's acoustics amplify and shape the sound in ways that no concert hall can replicate. After 3 years, Sprinkle had found the stalactites that together formed a complete musical range. He connected them to a keyboard, wired solenoid actuators to each one, so that pressing a key strikes the stalactite with a small hammer. The result, the great stalacpipe organ, the largest natural musical instrument on Earth. Its pipes, if you can call them that, span 14 acres of cave. The sound travels through 400-million-year-old stone before it reaches your ears. Not a recording, not speakers, the actual stalactites, vibrating. In a cave that formed before complex life existed on Earth. Luray Caverns opened to visitors in 1878. A local photographer discovered them by accident. He noticed cold air coming from the ground on a hot summer day. Followed the air, found the entrance, lowered himself in with a lantern, and found this. Soaring cathedral chambers, pools so still they reflect the ceiling perfectly. The reflection so precise that photographs of the cave look like the formations are growing both upward and downward simultaneously. Dream Lake, the most famous pool, is only 20 centimeters deep, but the reflections make it look bottomless. Visitors have stood at its edge for 150 years and argued about which direction is up. 400 million years of water, dripping through limestone, one drop at a time, building these formations. And then, one man with a rubber mallet, 3 years, and the world's largest musical instrument, built from a cave that built itself. Watts Towers, Los Angeles. In 1921, an Italian immigrant named Simon Rodia bought a triangular lot in the Watts neighborhood of Los Angeles. He was a tile setter by trade. He had no architectural training, no engineering degree, no permission from the city, no help from anyone. And over the next 33 years, alone, he built this. 17 interconnected sculptural towers, the tallest reaching 30 meters, all made from steel pipes and wire mesh, covered in mortar and decorated with whatever he could find. Broken bottles, seashells, ceramic tiles, mirrors, pottery shards, green glass from 7-Up bottles, blue glass from Milk of Magnesia bottles, the specific green of Depression-era glass. Every piece pressed into the mortar by hand, every surface covered, every tower different, every detail placed by the same pair of hands. Over 33 years, working evenings and weekends, without scaffolding, using a window washer's belt and a bucket to reach the heights. In 1954, at age 75, Rhodia stopped. He gave the property to a neighbor and left Los Angeles. He never returned. He never explained why he built them, never gave a reason, just built them and left. The city tried to demolish them in 1959. Engineers attached a crane and pulled. The towers didn't move. The crane was the one that couldn't take the strain. They are still there, in Watts, one of the poorest and most overlooked neighborhoods in Los Angeles. Surrounded by a community that has been underinvested and underfunded and overpolicied for 70 years. And in the middle of it, these towers, built by one man who never explained himself, who just built something beautiful in a place that the city didn't think needed beauty. Grand Canyon Skywalk. The glass is 3 centimeters thick. That is what separates you from 1,200 meters of air. The Grand Canyon Skywalk, a horseshoe-shaped glass bridge extending 21 meters beyond the rim of the Grand Canyon, on Hualapai tribal land in northwestern Arizona. You walk to the edge. You look down, through your feet, through 3 centimeters of glass. At the canyon floor, 1,200 meters below. The Colorado River is down there. It looks like a thread. The largest river in the American Southwest, a thread. The canyon walls expose 2 billion years of Earth's history, layer by layer. Each band of color a different geological era. The oldest rocks at the bottom are 1.8 billion years old. Before complex life existed, before fish, before plants, before anything that could be called living as we understand it. The canyon is 446 kilometers long, 29 kilometers wide at its widest, 1,600 meters deep at its deepest. The Hualapai people have lived here for centuries. This is their land. The canyon is sacred to them. And they built the skywalk on it in 2007 for $30 million to generate revenue for their nation, which has one of the highest poverty rates of any tribal nation in the United States. The entry fee for the skywalk is $32. The Hualapai decided that their sacred land would pay for their survival, because nobody else was going to. Yellowstone, the supervolcano. Underneath Yellowstone National Park, beneath the geysers and the bison and the 4 million tourists per year, there is a supervolcano. Not a regular volcano, a supervolcano, a magma chamber 55 kilometers wide that last erupted 640,000 years ago. When it did, it covered half of North America in ash. Geologists call Yellowstone one of the largest volcanic systems on Earth. If it erupted today, the immediate blast radius would be hundreds of kilometers. The ash cloud would affect all of North America. The temperature drop from ash blocking the sun would affect crops worldwide for years. This is where 4 million people go on holiday every year. And it is not irresponsible. The probability of a major eruption in the next 10,000 years is approximately 0.00014%. But the ground above the magma breathes, rises and falls by centimeters every year. The hydrothermal features, the geysers and hot springs, are the surface expression of the heat below. Old Faithful, the most famous geyser in the world, erupts every 60 to 110 minutes, has been erupting for at least 2,000 years. Nobody set a timer, nobody wound a clock. The Earth just does this, every hour or so, because the pressure builds and the pressure releases. Bison walk past it, unbothered. They have been walking past it for 10,000 years. The park was established in 1872, the first national park in the world, created to protect a landscape that the United States decided was too important to own privately. Below it, the largest volcanic system in North America, patient, building pressure on its own schedule. Alcatraz, San Francisco, 1.25 miles from shore. That is the distance between Alcatraz and the city of San Francisco. Close enough to see the lights at night. Close enough to hear the foghorns. Close enough, the prisoners said, to hear the laughter from New Year's Eve parties on the mainland. Far enough to make escape nearly impossible. The water between the island and the shore is 50 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. The currents are among the strongest in the bay. The rocks below the surface are invisible until you hit them. In 29 years of operation, 36 men tried to escape. 23 were caught, 6 were shot, 2 drowned, and 5 are listed as missing, presumed drowned. The presumed is doing a lot of work in that sentence. In June 1962, 3 men dug through the walls of their cells with spoons, over months, hid the progress with papier-mâché grills painted to look like steel, built a raft from 50 stolen raincoats, made life preservers from the same material, left dummy heads in their beds made from soap and human hair and paint, and disappeared. They were never found. No bodies, no confirmed sightings, no evidence of death, no evidence of life. In 2011, a letter was received by the San Francisco police, claiming to be from one of the 3, claiming they made it, that they lived normal lives, that the other 2 had died in recent years. The FBI says the letter is not credible. Nobody has proven they died. Nobody has proven they lived. The island closed in 1963. 1 year after the escape, today, 1.7 million people visit per year, by ferry, from the city the prisoners could see but never reach. The cells are still there. The hole in the wall is still there. The dummy heads are still there. The 3 men, wherever they are not. Antelope Canyon, Navajo land. At noon, on certain days in certain months, a beam of light falls into the canyon. Not scattered light, not ambient glow, a single shaft, straight down, through a crack 20 meters above, landing on the sandstone floor like a spotlight placed by a hand that knew exactly where it needed to go. Antelope Canyon, near Page, Arizona, on Navajo Nation land. The Navajo call it Tse Biganilini, the place where water runs through rocks. It was carved by flash floods over millions of years, water rushing through a narrow crack every monsoon season, wearing the sandstone smooth, cutting deeper, leaving curves where the physics of water demanded them. The walls flow like something liquid that hardened mid-movement, orange and red and purple depending on the depth and the angle of the light. You cannot enter alone. A Navajo guide is required. The fee goes to the tribe. The permit controls the numbers. Because the same flash floods that made this canyon still happen. Every monsoon, the canyon can fill with water in minutes, without warning from above. In 1997, a flash flood killed 11 people inside the lower canyon. The canyon is beautiful. The canyon is dangerous. Both things are always true at the same time. The Navajo have known this for centuries, have managed this land for centuries. The tourists are recent. The canyon was always here. The light was always falling, before anyone was watching it. Monument Valley, Navajo Nation. You have seen this place 1,000 times, without knowing where it was. Every Western film, every road trip photograph, every car advertisement that needed to say, wide open space, without using words. Monument Valley, on the border of Utah and Arizona, on Navajo Nation land. 3 sandstone buttes rising from a flat red desert. The West Mitten, the East Mitten, Merrick Butte. 270 million years old. The remnants of a plateau that once covered this entire region. The softer rock eroded. The harder cores remained. John Ford filmed here. 7 westerns. Stagecoach, The Searchers, Fort Apache. He called it the most complete, most beautiful, most dignified landscape in the world. The images he made here became America's image of itself. Wild, free, open, the promise of the West. The Navajo call this place Tse-Bi Nzisgai, the valley within the rocks. They have lived here for centuries. While the films were being made, the Navajo were not allowed to vote in American elections until 1948. The landscape that defined American freedom on screen was home to a people who did not have the most basic freedom of citizenship. Today, the Navajo charge an entry fee, run the tours, control the permits, employ their people. The land is still theirs, was always theirs. The mythology built around it was someone else's. Florida Keys, the overseas highway. At some point, you stop driving through Florida and start driving over it. The overseas highway, US Route 1. 183 kilometers of road and bridges connecting the Florida Keys, a chain of coral islands, to the mainland. 42 bridges, The longest, the 7-mile bridge, which is exactly what it sounds like. 7 miles of concrete above open water, with the Atlantic Ocean on one side and the Gulf of Mexico on the other. From above, it looks like someone drew a line across the sea, a thin gray thread connecting nothing to nothing, with water on every side, to every horizon. Henry Flagler built the original railway here in 1912. People said it was impossible. The keys were too remote, the water too shallow in places, too deep in others, the hurricanes too frequent, the logistics impossible. Flagler built it anyway, called it the railroad that goes to sea. In 1935, the Labor Day hurricane destroyed much of the railway. The strongest hurricane ever to make landfall in the United States at that time. 408 people dead, the railway gone. They built a road on top of the ruins, using the old railway bridges as a foundation. The current 7-mile bridge was built in 1982. The old one still stands beside it, closed to traffic, open to pedestrians and pelicans. Drive this road on a clear morning, before the traffic, before the heat. The water on both sides is not the same color. The Atlantic, deep blue. The Gulf, turquoise and shallow. The same road, 2 different oceans, on opposite sides of your car. At the end of the Keys, Key West, the southernmost city in the continental United States, closer to Havana than to Miami, 90 miles from Cuba. A city at the end of a road that goes into the sea and just barely comes back out. Alaska, Mendenhall Glacier. The glacier is retreating, not metaphorically, literally. Physically moving backward, up the valley, away from where it was. The Mendenhall Glacier, 12 miles from downtown Juneau, the most accessible glacier in Alaska, visited by 500,000 people per year. In 1958, the glacier extended to within a few hundred meters of the visitor center that now overlooks it. Today, the face of the glacier is almost 3 kilometers further back. It retreats approximately 30 meters per year, getting shorter, getting thinner. The ice thinning by over a meter per year in some places. The glacier began forming 2,500 years ago, during a period of cooling that glaciologists call the Little Ice Age. It is now melting faster than it formed. People come to photograph it, to kayak to its face, to watch chunks of ice calve off into the lake that has formed in front of it. A lake that didn't exist 150 years ago, created by the glacier's retreat. Underneath the retreating glacier, land is emerging. Land that hasn't been exposed to air for 2,500 years. Plants are colonizing it, almost immediately, within years of the ice retreating. First mosses, then shrubs, then eventually forest. The forest that was here before the glacier came is returning as the glacier leaves. Climate scientists estimate that at current rates, the Mendenhall Glacier will be largely gone by 2050. 500,000 people per year come to see it, while it is still here, before it isn't. Potash ponds, Utah. From the air, they look wrong. Electric blue rectangles in the middle of a red desert. The color of a swimming pool. The color of a screen. The color of something that does not belong in the landscape surrounding it. The Canyonlands. The Colorado River. Red rock, orange sand, brown earth. And then, these. The Potash Ponds, near Moab, Utah. Operated by Intrepid Potash, the largest American producer of potassium. The process is straightforward. Workers drill wells into a layer of potash buried 1,000 meters underground. Pump water down. The water dissolves the potash. The solution is pumped back up into these evaporation ponds. The sun does the rest, evaporating the water, leaving the potash behind. The color, the specific electric blue, is not natural. Workers add blue dye to the water because blue water absorbs more heat than clear water. More heat means faster evaporation. Faster evaporation means faster production. A business decision that accidentally created one of the most extraordinary aerial views in the United States. The ponds cover nearly 1,600 acres, each one a different shade depending on the concentration of minerals in the water. Some vivid cobalt, some pale turquoise, some almost white as the minerals crystallize. They are visible from space. Google Earth users discovered them years ago and couldn't understand what they were looking at. Most people still can't. The Canyonlands stretch in every direction. Ancient red rock carved by millions of years of water and wind. One of the most remote and dramatic landscapes in America. And in the middle of it, bright blue rectangles that exist because someone needed potash and figured out that blue water evaporates faster. Nature and industry in the same frame, neither one caring about the other. Marfa, Texas. Marfa, population 1,800, in the high desert of West Texas, 450 miles from Dallas, 200 miles from the nearest city of any size. In the middle of nothing. In 1971, a New York artist named Donald Judd drove through Marfa. He stopped, looked around, and decided to move there. Over the next 23 years, he bought almost everything. An old army base, 3 blocks of downtown, a former wool and mohair warehouse, buildings, land, space, and filled it with art. Not paintings on walls, not sculptures in vitrines, permanent large-scale installations. That exists specifically for this space, for this light, for this landscape. 100 aluminum boxes in a converted artillery shed. Each one identical in size, each one different inside. Because the light enters differently at different times of day, at different times of year. Concrete works that can only be understood by walking through them, that change as you move, as the shadows move, as the season changes. Judd believed that art should exist permanently, in spaces designed for it, not in museums that rotate collections, not in galleries that sell and move on. Here, specifically, in this building, in this light, forever. He died in 1994. The foundation he created maintains it. Today, people drive 200 miles through the Texas desert to see concrete boxes in a converted army base in a town of 1,800. And understand, when they get there, why Judd stopped, why he stayed, why he gave everything he had to this particular place. In the middle of nothing, that turned out to be everything. Las Vegas, the city that shouldn't exist. From space, Las Vegas is visible at night. Not vaguely, not as a glow, as a specific point of light brighter than the cities around it. 42 million people per year visit a city of 650,000 permanent residents. In the Mojave Desert, where summer temperatures reach 47 degrees, where the annual rainfall is 10 centimeters, where before 1905 there was almost nothing. The city uses more water per person than almost any city in the developed world. The water comes from Lake Mead, the reservoir behind Hoover Dam, on the Colorado River. Lake Mead is at 30% capacity, the lowest it has been since the dam was built. The white bathtub ring on the canyon walls shows where the water used to be, meters above the current level. And Las Vegas is still building. New hotels, new resorts, new attractions, a new NFL stadium, a new Formula One track, a new sphere, the MSG Sphere, the largest LED screen ever built, visible from the airport 22 miles away. A city that consumes everything in a desert that has nothing, and somehow makes it work. The Strip at night is something that no photograph fully captures. The scale, the light, the noise, the 100,000 hotel rooms, the fountains in a drought zone, the replicas of Paris and Venice and New York. All of it powered by a river that is running out. In a desert that is getting hotter, the most American city on Earth, betting everything on tomorrow. Sequoia National Park, the oldest living things. General Sherman, the largest living thing on Earth, by volume. Not the tallest, not the oldest, the largest. A sequoia tree in Sequoia National Park in California, 84 meters tall, 11 meters in diameter at the base. Estimated age, 2,200 years. It was alive when Julius Caesar was born, when the Roman Empire was at its height, when the Library of Alexandria was still standing. It is alive now, growing still, adding approximately 1 cubic meter of wood every year. More new wood added each year than the total volume of a 15-meter tree. The sequoia grove that General Sherman stands in contains the highest concentration of living mass per unit area of any forest on Earth. The trees are fireproof. Not entirely, nothing is. But their bark is up to 60 centimeters thick, doesn't conduct heat easily, contains tannin that resists fire. The base of a sequoia can be charred by fire, and the tree continues to grow. The sequoias depend on fire. Their cones only open to release seeds under intense heat. The fires that other trees fear, the sequoia needs. They were here before the road was built, before California was a state, before anyone who lives today was born. And when 4 million tourists arrive each year on the road that cuts through the grove, the trees do not notice. They have seen empires rise and fall, languages born and lost. They will see more, whether anyone is watching or not. Joshua Tree, the desert that lives. The Joshua Tree looks like something a child drew when asked to draw a tree. All wrong. Arms going in every direction, no real trunk, no symmetry, no shape that trees are supposed to have. It lives only in the Mojave Desert, only between 400 and 1,800 meters elevation, only where the temperature goes low enough in winter to trigger flowering, only where the yucca moth, the only animal that can pollinate it, also lives. The relationship between the Joshua Tree and the yucca moth is one of the most specific in nature. The moth lays its eggs inside the flower. The larvae eat some of the seeds, but not all. Enough remain for new trees. Without the moth, no seeds, no new Joshua trees. Climate scientists have been studying what rising temperatures will do to this relationship. The answer is not good. The Joshua Tree requires winter cold to flower. As winters warm, fewer trees flower, fewer seeds, fewer new trees. The trees that exist can live for 500 years, so the forest looks stable. But look at the young trees, the seedlings. They are becoming rarer. A forest that isn't replacing itself. The old trees will live for centuries, but when they die, what replaces them depends on decisions being made right now. The park draws 3 million visitors per year. Many of them come to photograph the trees at sunset. The silhouettes, the crooked arms, the alien shapes. Some of them don't know they are photographing something that is disappearing. The Boneyard, Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, Arizona. From above, it looks like someone spilled a box of model planes across the desert. Row after row, perfectly aligned, wing to wing, stretching to the horizon. 4,000 aircraft, military aircraft, fighters, bombers, tankers, cargo planes, helicopters. Some of the most sophisticated machines ever built. Parked in the desert outside Tucson, Arizona, at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, in a place officially called the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group, known everywhere else as the Boneyard. The desert was chosen deliberately. The Sonoran Desert receives less than 30 centimeters of rain per year. The air is dry. The ground is hard caliche, a type of soil so dense that aircraft don't sink into it. Dry air preserves the metal. Hard ground supports the weight. The sun bakes everything, but doesn't rust it. Perfect conditions for storing things you might need again, or might not. Some aircraft here are in long-term storage, preserved completely. Engines sealed, openings covered, ready to fly again within weeks if needed. Some are being stripped for parts, canopies removed, engines extracted, wiring pulled. The useful pieces going to keep other aircraft flying. Some are simply waiting for a decision that hasn't been made yet. The oldest aircraft here date back to the 1950s. Cold War machines that never saw combat, that flew training missions for decades. and ended up here. The boneyard covers 2,600 acres, is visible from space. Tours are available. A bus drives slowly through the rows. The guide names the aircraft types, their years of service, their histories. Most of the aircraft have no individual histories. They are numbers, tail numbers, in a list, in a desert, waiting for whatever comes next. Dry Tortugas, Fort Jefferson, Florida. 70 miles from Key West. No bridge, no road. No way to get there except by boat or seaplane. And when you arrive in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, there is a fort. Not a small fort, not ruins. A massive hexagonal fortress of 16 million bricks, rising from a coral island barely larger than the fort itself. Fort Jefferson, the largest masonry structure in the Americas, started in 1847, never finished. They built for 30 years, added wall after wall, gun embrasure after embrasure, designed to hold 450 cannons, to control the shipping lanes between the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic. And then, the Civil War changed everything. Iron warships made massive brick forts obsolete overnight. A single ironclad could withstand fire from the guns the fort was built to hold. Construction slowed, then stopped. The fort was never finished, never fired a shot in anger. It became a prison instead, the most remote federal prison in American history. Dr. Samuel Mudd was held here. The physician who set the broken leg of John Wilkes Booth, Lincoln's assassin, without knowing who he was. Convicted of conspiracy, sentenced to life. He spent 4 years in the unfinished fortress in the middle of the Gulf, until a yellow fever outbreak killed the fort's surgeon. Mudd treated the sick, saved lives, was pardoned in 1869. Today, the fort is a national park. The waters around it, some of the clearest in the United States. Coral reefs, sea turtles, sharks. And the fort, still unfinished, still massive, still standing in the middle of nowhere. On a coral island in the Gulf of Mexico that nobody was ever supposed to find. America showed us everything. Tents on the streets of the city that makes movies about the American dream. A sea that Hollywood loved and then abandoned. An artist who spent 33 years building something beautiful in a neighborhood nobody cared about. A glass bridge on land that belongs to a people who lost almost everything. A supervolcano that 4 million tourists picnic above every year. An island that is disappearing into the sea. A glacier that won't be here in 25 years. A fort that was built for a war that changed before it was finished. A prison on an island that 3 men escaped from, or didn't. Nobody knows. A road that drives into the ocean. A cave where the stalactites play music. A graveyard of 4,000 planes in a desert. Blue ponds that exist because someone needed to make potash faster. A rock that looks like it came from another planet. trail where 5 people died and thousands more queue to walk it anyway. This is America, a country that will show you the most breathtaking landscape you have ever seen and break your heart 30 miles down the road. A country that has never quite become what it promised to be and keeps trying anyway. That tension between what America is and what it always said it was is the most American thing about it. Subscribe, because there is more of this country than anyone has ever shown you.